the shot.
And so Mathurin will go to the free throw line here. And a rivalry. I don't know if you can have a rivalry before a playoff matchup, but I feel like there's a rivalry already with Oklahoma City, given the way that the Spurs have won 4 of those 5 games this year. And you see, well, how do they play 5 games? One of those games was in that in-season tournament situation. And it'll be interesting to see as they line up right now. There is still a shot. There is still a chance that the Spurs could grab the #1 spot in the West. Take a look at the standings. Thunder win tonight. I believe the Suns lost. Trailblazers win. The Blazers now 40-38. The Clippers will match them in the loss column after tonight.
See, Harper has the ability to run the show from out in front. He's a terrific passer. Sees the floor. He's got size and strength.
Keldon Johnson, good footwork, can't finish. Rebound tapped around, and Mathurin has it for the Clippers. 2 days off for the Clippers. They'll fly Saturday as Miller lays it up and in to Sacramento and try to get back on the winning track in the capital city against the Kings. Timeout San Antonio, 4:34 to play.
His strength, their body types, so good at getting into that painted area when the defender's with them.
How Oklahoma City and the Thunder and the Spurs could be matched up in the playoffs. Remember, OKC got off to that great start, 24-1. How about this finish for San Antonio overall? Ball knocked out of bounds, goes back to the Clippers. And it'll be interesting to say, and I say this with no slights at all. Like, this is a great San Antonio team. They're going to win titles, in my opinion. But this is their first venture into the postseason. A young team, and if they are able to advance, they're going to have to beat some pretty good teams in front of them. In particular, that conference finals matchup against Oklahoma City, a team that's been there and done that, that has really hit every rung on the ladder. To San Antonio's great credit, they skipped a few rungs. They didn't just compete for a playoff spot this year. They are owning it, and again, have a chance for the best record in the NBA. Mathurin along 2.
Well, there is something to playoff experience, okay? It does mean something. These are big games in front of big crowds, and they're very emotional times, but it doesn't mean a team that has some talented youngsters can't compete and win a round, and 2 rounds, and perhaps get to the conference final.
Barnes and Cornette have won championships. Barnes not necessarily a big minute guy. Cornette comes in there to spell relief for Wembanyama. And De'Aaron Fox, just 7 total games in the postseason. And there's our G League Rookie of the Year. John Padula. Clippers had won 5 in a row, and they just didn't match the energy for Portland 2 nights ago. And in the first half, they didn't match the energy for San Antonio. That was explained to Jamie from Brian Shaw at halftime. Able to cut the lead, which was 26 down to 7. But the Spurs just turned it on again. They're able to push this one back up over 20. They get the rebound. A whistle and a travel and a turnover as Harrison Ingram turns it over. It goes back to the Clippers. Ty Washington feeds to Miller. Sanders draws the contact from Bryant, and I believe they'll call that on the floor.
Sanders bringing the ball up through the defender's arms. That's where the call took place.
The last 3 seasons, block shots. That includes him missing time and only playing 29 minutes a game. Incredible numbers. Last night, he was 16 of 22, This is last night. 41 points, 18 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 block shots, 29 minutes, Coach Fratello.
Well, the interesting thing is the block shots, we know 3+ block shots per game. How about the ones that he changes and affects? If you watch them play, I've been able to see them 3 times recently, and he changes so many shots. Not that they count as blocks, but he certainly affects the mentality of the players when they drive the lane or if he's in the area.
Somebody, I think, and I really believe this, will put the category in the box score called never minds. They drive in there, never mind. He will lead the league in that for sure. No dip 3 for Sanders, the corner, nope. And Olynyk the rebound. It'll be interesting to see the block shots because how many people will try him? And what is the percentage? I didn't have the brain power to figure out the percentage of shots against him and the percentage of blocks that he gets. It has to lead the league, certainly given the number of blocks that he has and the lack of time he's on the floor. LA native Jordan McLaughlin able to knock that one down.
Can you think of a player that reminds you of Wendy? What comes to mind?
On what element? What aspect of it?
No, just a player. Because I have one I think was similar.
Defensively, Dikembe Mutombo. Offensively, there's a whole bunch of them. Who do you have in mind, Coach Mutombo?
How about Ralph Sampson?
That's an interesting one.
Okay, Ralph Sampson out of Harrisonburg, Virginia, home of James Madison University, home of Coach Signetti's national championship football team. Just in case you cared about that, but that's where Ralph Sampson came from. Built alike, shoot jump shot, 7'4", very similar.
Can I ask you a question? Where did you go to college? Because you have so many different affiliations. I have actually forgotten. I don't even know where you went to college.
Well, sorry about that. It was Montclair State University now, not Montclair State College as it was. It's now MSU.
Because you have connections to Villanova. You're bragging about Rutgers. I've got all these different colleges lined up here for Coach Fratello. That's good to know, and I have clarity going forward. And I feel that I will have a peace of mind from here on out. McLaughlin inside. Rebound goes to Washington. And perhaps the last active possession coming up here. Sanders down the lane, wrapped up, counted, and a foul.
Nice finish by Kobe. Stayed with it all the way, switched over to the left hand, and finished with the layup.
Is that where you got your driver's ed certificate?
Driver's certificate was at Montclair State College at the time. Kobe with that left-hand finish in the end. You know, a little affiliation with Rhode Island, University of Rhode Island. A little bit with James Madison, which is now... Well, Madison College, I should say.
This is your affiliation? You're saying this about you?
Places that I coached now.
Coached? Okay. I'm looking at matriculated and have a degree from hanging on the wall. But that's good to know. You have a lot of background.
The degrees matter.
The Spurs are going to just run the clock out on this one. And a masterful performance by them tonight. Really, sincerely, 53% from the field. No Wembanyama, no problem whatsoever. The Spurs certainly did not match the energy until the third and had too big of a deficit to climb out. And now the Clippers are going to have to climb out of a small tailspin here after winning 5 in a row, dropping now to Portland and now San Antonio. And they find themselves looking up at the Blazers in that play-in bracket. The Blazers winning tonight, both teams at 38 losses and one more game coming to Portland. Pointing out again that the Spurs actually play the Blazers